Buddy, it's Kate Beaters. Welcome. I've got a really cool training for you today. And please say hello. Let me know who's here. As we get going, I'm going to get this all set up, make sure everything is working well. So give me a minute, but please say hi. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're from. And if you're somewhere warm, please send us sunshine. I'm here in Boston, and we've been enjoying 70-degree weather for so long, and all of a sudden it got cold. So anyways, oh, I see Jeff, you're there. Nikki, hey everybody. I've got something really cool I've never taught before, and I'm really excited to teach you guys. So hang with me, and if you are somewhere sunny, please send some sunshine. It's like we'll actually have sunshine. Send us some heat. Oh, thanks, Leslie. Hi, in New Hampshire, you're even colder than us. So I was kind of hoping, Leslie, you'll get this being from New England, that I was kind of hoping that maybe we were going to skip winter this year. I kept reading all these reports like that this is going to be a really, really mild winter. So although then I heard saying that the people in Boston, the government or something, wants to show off that they have something like, and don't quote me on numbers, but something like 10 zillion tons of rock salt, that they put out in the roads and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty crazy, and I guess they have some new trucks and all that. But I'm hoping that they don't get to be used. So everybody, good morning. Wherever you're from, please say hi. Tell me where you're from. I've got something really cool I want to teach with you that's been working for me like a charm, and I can't wait to share with you. So and let me know. Can someone just let me know? Can you hear me okay? Oh, Nikki, thank you. You sent me some photos of sunshine and beaches. I love that. And here's my Costa Rica. You can see better this way. I'll just imagine I'm back in Costa Rica right now, where I did last year's retreat. Oh, good. Thanks, Leslie. Glad to hear. Okay, so everybody, welcome. And if you, just a request, if you like what I'm doing, oh, thanks, Lynn. Yeah, it's sunny there. I like what Lynn wrote. It's sunny there, even though it's not the real Mexico. Well, you can pretend, right? So everybody, I want to just ask you, please, let's keep this interactive. I've got some cool stuff to share, and then I'm going to take questions. And also, please share this with your community, because this is really cool. If you're just getting to know me, if it's the first time you've ever seen me on video or Facebook Live or whatever, I'm Kate Beaters. I'm the founder of BRILLIANCE Builders, and I'm your breakthrough expert. And one thing you'll find about me is I love teaching how I do things at work, but I love making modifications, because I don't believe there's only one way to do it. But I want to show you how I do it, and then I'm going to give you some examples based on your personality of how you can make it work for you. Because the thing I am known for is helping people get results. So I want to share that with you. And today, I love teaching about goal setting, but more importantly, really about how to get results, because that's the whole thing, right? For you to get to that next level, you got to set that goal of whatever it is that you want to get there, and then to get there, and then get there, and get there, wherever it is that you want to go. And truthfully, I could talk about goal setting and results and all that forever, because the thing I'm going to actually come out and admit is that I'm a really, really powerful manifester. I am. I mean, some of the stuff I do is just as crazy, but I do it, and I've been doing it for so long that I kind of take some of the steps for granted. So when I go to teach, I really have to break it down for all of you to make it easy for you guys to understand. And also just reminds me about how powerful our thoughts are, because man, I can just think something and bam, it'll happen. Or else if it's the negative, like if I don't want something, bam, that won't happen either. It's really, really cool how it all works. And so what I want to talk about today is reaching your goals. And just so you understand, there's lots of parts and pieces of this. I'm just going to talk about one piece, because initially you have to figure out what goal do you want. That's kind of the first place you start. You have to really write out a goal or vision statement, whatever you want to call it, making sure that it's right, making sure it's aligned with who you are, that it's not full of shoulds. Also making sure too that you're kind of giving yourself permission to dream big in this goal. And also then after that, it's learning to figure out what action to take, because there's lots and lots of different things you do. And then of course you get caught up, all the fears, the doubts, like what if it won't work, or what if it's too hard, or what if it's this, or what if it's that, all that kind of stuff can get you stuck. But ultimately that gets you to where your goal is. So today what I want to focus on is the action and really self-accountability. And the reason I want to focus on that is because ultimately you, me, all of us, we're all responsible for our own results. right? I mean, ultimately we all are, and it's about learning to deliberately create and then assume and accept responsibility that'll help you get there. So the thing that happens very often is that when people set goals and things like that, that often that what they want is so far away that it's very, very hard to reach it, because we all like getting immediate gratification, immediate rewards. And that's one of the reasons that, for example, if you are saving for retirement, if you're in your 20s, thank goodness they put out 401ks and all that, because in your 20s, like, retirement is just like way over there. In your 30s, it's still really far, your 40s and 50s, and then all of a sudden you're in your 60s and you're scrambling, because it's so far away. So the thing is that without getting that immediate gratification, very often people fail. So that's part of what I'm going to be teaching you today. And some of you know this. My dad passed away last March, and it was really difficult. I'm just being honest. If you've experienced this, it's really hard, especially, my dad was great. I mean, he was a wonderful, wonderful man. And all us kids were all like wearing his watch. I've got one of his watches on today. My dad loved to collect watches. And one of the things that happened is, before all this had happened, I kind of had given up sugar, because sugar to me is not my friend. And, but when my dad passed away, people are bringing over cookies and sweets and cake and coffee cake and ice cream and all sorts of stuff, right? Well, you're in such a crazy mode when all this is going on, when you're going through a stressful situation like that, that for me personally, the way it came out me is I ate, and I happened to gain about 8 pounds. Now, I know some of you are going, oh, 8 pounds, that's not a big deal. But for me, honestly, that is, because 8 pounds for me, I'm petite, which means short. That's a dress size. And 8 pounds means my clothes don't feel comfortable, means I don't have the same amount of energy. All that sugar inside my brain makes me like, it's hard for me to get the same focus. I want the same clarity. So in so many ways, both externally and internally, it really messes me up. And so I made this decision, okay, I want to, take the weight off. Well, then I was going on a cruise to Alaska. Well, if you've ever been on a cruise or really nice vacation, the last thing you want to do, quite honestly, when you go on a nice vacation, is to give up any, your food. I just want to make sure. I just want to check the internet thing, just make sure it's. Yep, okay, got it. Okay, because they have all this great food and all sorts of things. I mean, that's the last thing on earth you want to do, right? Is say no, I'm not going to eat anything good, And then, of course, when I came home, I had broken my arm. It was my dominant arm. I was in so much pain for about the first 4 to 6 weeks, and trying to manage and all that. And so there was no way on earth I was going to think about going to a gym or working out or whatever. It just was not happening. And then as I started getting better, the PT's kicking in, the occupational therapy's kicking in, my girl, Callie, had to have emergency surgery. And then all my focus is on her. So you can see how everything keeps happening, which again is life, right? You set this intention, but there's one thing, and there's another thing, and there's another thing, and there's another thing. And then, how it can happen 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years later, and you still have, focusing on your goal. But finally, she's been doing great. In fact, we saw the vet today, and he gives us, like, now it's like, instead of coming every few days to see him, it's like now you don't need to come for about 6, 7 weeks. I mean, that to me just does my heart so good. And so that's done. My physical therapy's done, my occupational therapy's done. And now it's just like really me just maintaining what they taught me. And I said, okay, I'm joining the gym. Now, for a lot of you, that we can all join the gym, but are we actually going to get to the gym? Maybe we go that first week or two and it's wonderful. Like, isn't it so great to join the gym? But, we all know, we see those New Year's resolution people, they all join the very beginning of the year and they're all gone, right? They're all gone within 4 to 6 weeks. And I know I could absolutely have that happen to me, because it has happened to me, all the stuff pops up, life gets in the way. Here in New England, the days are shorter. I don't want to go out in the cold. I'm too busy to go, all the stuff that kind of pops up. Oh, it's going to take forever. It won't work, and all this kind of stuff. And I was trying to sit there like, how do I make this work? And I really thought back to what my dad has taught me. And my dad was a dentist, and he was all about preventative care, right? You brush your teeth after every meal, and then hopefully, you'll eliminate your dental problems, as well as having to have cavities, which means fillings. And who wants fillings? I mean, I hate the noise of the drill. And so I said, well, how can I be preventative to keep myself on track, knowing that I have a really strong likelihood of joining that gym and then never going after 2 weeks? What can I do to stay on track? And one of the reasons it's really important is I am leading a retreat in Cancun it starts January 10th. So, you know, it's not that far off. And when I'm at a Four Diamond Resort, you know, I want to look good in my bathing suit. I want to look good in my summer clothes, right? I mean, you know, we all do. And I was like, well, I don't want to just join a gym and then have that money just be kind of thrown away, right? That doesn't do me any good. And also, too, from a mindset standpoint, when you set yourself up for something and then you don't do it, it actually starts lowering your self-esteem and lowering your self-confidence, which makes it even harder to get back on and move forward. So I was like, okay, so what can I do? So that's what I want to teach you today, what I did, because even though for me it's about the pounds, it can be used any aspect of your life. It can be used any aspect of your business. So does that sound good? You guys excited? I'll put my glasses on, make sure I've got all my notes here for you. And everybody, please say hi if you're just joining. Let me know who you are, where you're from. And I'll be periodically putting my glasses on and all that to see what notes you have, because I think this is really, really cool. So anyways, so what it is when you've got goals and things like that, you know, that you need to, oh, thanks, Lynn. The chocolate in the cupboard. No, they can't blame the chocolate. But no, I was going to say send the chocolate to me, but no, don't send the chocolate to me. And the thing is that understand that, you know, I'm not going to go into a whole mindset thing, but understand the way our thoughts work. We're always going to have fears, doubts, all that kind of stuff that pops up, right? Does anyone want to share any fears or doubts? Like Lynn just shared the chocolate in the cupboard. Anybody have any things that they know, like they've tried to do something and then something just keeps popping up over and over again, a reason, you know, of why you can't do something? You know, just think about it. I mean, for me, it's always like time, you know, and, you know, once I get to the gym, I'm good, but it's like, oh, it's cold and I got to go and, you know, then parking and, you know, it's like I can make up 100 excuses why, you know, why not to go. So if you've got any you want to share, please do. So the way I look at it is that to move forward and to take action, you know, you've got to think about what action is required to reach your goal. And for me, you know, action that was required are things like going to the gym, right, on a regular basis. And for me, I just said, what's regular? Well, for me, if I went 3 times a week, I'd be really, really happy based on my schedule. You know, if I went more, awesome, but 3 times a week would make me feel like a winner. And also giving up the sugar and some other things too that I thought would really be important, you know, back to eating healthy, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so there's really 2 ways that you can kind of stay on track as you're figuring out what you need to do. Now, one way is the way I actually had my clients try recently, which is what I call kind of the penalty system. And what this means is that if you know there's some action you've got to take, that if you don't take it, you get a penalty. So I'll give you an example. One of my clients, she had her first big multi-day event coming up, and one thing she needed to do was fill seats. Now, honestly, if you've ever held a workshop, if you've ever held an event, filling seats is probably the hardest part there is, okay? And so anyways, what we set up for her is that she was due to go on a vacation shortly thereafter, her event. And so what we set up for her is that on this vacation, there's something she really loves to do when she goes to a warm climate, and that's scuba dive. That's her thing. And we said, okay, if you don't take this particular action, you don't get to scuba dive. Well, you know, we've all heard that expression FOMO, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out. I mean, this is her favorite thing to do. There was no way on earth that she was going to go on this wonderful vacation and not be able to scuba dive. And I know her. She would have kept her word if she hadn't done it. So she moved, excuse my language, hell in high water to make sure she had stayed in action. And sure enough, she went scuba diving, okay? And she also had a really fantastic event too. People loved it, and it was a huge success for her. So one way is the penalty system, all right? That you decide something that maybe it's giving to a cause you don't like. I mean, definitely one that's right now is like the NRA, you know, unless you're into guns, you know, or maybe there's a candidate you don't really like, give to him. A cause you don't really support, give to that cause as an action you have to take that you don't really like. So one way is penalty, because none of us like to be punished, right? And this really has to do with, you know, we deal a lot with our inner child. That's a lot of the work I do. And so, you know, your inner child doesn't want to get punished. And what kid wanted to go into timeout, right? I mean, who wants that timeout, or go to your room, or I'm taking away your phone, or you can't, you're grounded. I mean, no kid wants that, okay? So that's one way that it can keep you stuck. Let me just take a sip of water here. Now there's another way, and that's what I did this time. And what I did this time is I did the reward system. And so what I did was I broke down all the things that I did, that I needed to do, that I felt, you know, easy. I wasn't making it overly complicated, but I thought, like, what are like 5 things that I really need to do to stay on track? So one was, like I mentioned, going to the gym. Another was not doing the sugar, you know, not eating sugar. Another was I have a Fitbit. I'm not wearing it right now, but, you know, doing the 12,000 steps. And so what I did was I made a list, and I'll show you guys this. I made a list, like my little menu of things that I had to do. I wrote them down. And there's only just 5 things on here. It's really simple. And what I did was I gave them a dollar value. So the thing that I probably most did not want to do was go to the gym. Again, it's not so much the working out, it's getting there, going in the cold and putting the gym clothes on and going there and parking and blah, 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 you know, that kind of stuff, right? That's the hardest part, is actually going. And I think if anyone belongs to a gym, you might agree too, especially if you're home-based. And so I gave them all dollar values. And what I did was I bought this lovely jar. Here's got a lovely cover, and I decorated it. Now, you don't need to, this is my rewards jar. You don't need to buy a jar if you don't want to. I got mine on Amazon. If you've got a jar at home, if you've got a pretty dish, I recommend doing something that's nice, because my mom always taught me that aesthetics are very, very important. So you want to be pretty. You don't just want to be some ugly little dish or tossing them on your counter. Have it be something nice. So I bought mine, and I decorated and put stickers, and I may actually put a few more stickers on, you know, as time flies by. And so what I did was, every time I did one of these things, I use colored paper. You don't need to use colored paper. You could use plain paper. You rip up and put in pieces. And I wrote on there like $5, because that was my reward for going to the gym. $5 gym, and then I wrote the date. And then I put it into this. Now, I decided my first reward, because I love massages, was going to be to treat myself to a massage once I earned that money, okay? So I had to earn enough, and there's a place I wanted to go, and I called to find out how much it was, and also thinking about the tip or gratuity. And could I have afforded to go do a massage on my own? Of course I could, but that's not the issue. There's something about the way your mind works that when you write this down, the dopamine, which is like your happy drug, you know, remember they used to call it like pot dope, you know, years ago, that this is a chemical inside your brain that just makes you feel good. And so something about, I'm not going to go into the whole chemical thing right now, but when you write down, you know, $5 gym in today's date, that just gets the dopamine going, that you feel really good, okay? Now, I could have put dollar bills in there. I personally don't carry a lot of cash, and I didn't want to get caught up with that. And truthfully, again, back to the inner child, my inner child was just as happy just by me writing this. The money, putting money in here wasn't as important. Can you do it with money? Absolutely. I just preferred to write it down. So then once I had enough, I pulled them out, I made my appointment, and then I stapled them together, because these have been used, can't reuse them, okay? So that was my first reward. And so I am doing this over and over and over again. And it has been, first of all, it's kept me on track. It feels really good, because again, back to what I mentioned in the beginning of this, that we all want immediate gratification. So when you write on here your reward, you know, that you're giving yourself $2 or $5 or $1 or $10, whatever you decide it's worth it to you, you feel really good, and that's your reward. Because otherwise, to wait for me to wait for the 8 pounds, whether it takes, let's say, 6 or 8 weeks, I'm going to lose interest. That's just how our mind works. So when you think about it right now, what is something that you could do to put into action in your business? Maybe, like my client, maybe it's making calls that you need to do. Maybe you've got a workshop you've got to do. Maybe you've got a project. Maybe you've got a launch. Maybe there's something at home. Maybe you've got a big decluttering. I'm also decluttering right now. Maybe you've got a big decluttering project. But if you want to go ahead and share what that is, what is something that you see that this could work for you, that would be great. I'm going to just see if you've got anyone has any comments that they're adding. So I'm just going to go look here on my phone. So what are some areas that you could use this? Just think about it. I'm starting to write a new book. I know I can use this for my new book, you know, to keep myself writing chapters and all that. So what's an area you could use this to keep you on track to reach your goals? Maybe cold calling. again, it doesn't have to be a work thing. It could be a personal thing too. But think about how you can use this. And also, what kind of rewards can you give yourself for doing this? For me, it was massage. What I highly recommend is that your rewards are experiences and not things, because things are just things. And again, back to the whole neuroscience thing, you're only really excited about your thing for a short time. Whereas if it's an experience, you feel good a whole lot longer. That stays with you. So it could be for experience, it could be an educational thing. Yep, Nikki, you're going to hold more stressless sessions. Exactly, you could use this. And so Nikki, or anybody, what are some rewards you could give yourself? You know, massages, pedicures, a retreat. You know, what is it that you could do? Are you going to use the penalty box? There you go. Yeah. Because again, this all comes down to, Lynn's got it from staying away from chocolate and using it things that you procrastinate about, whether it's filing. So think about how you can use this in your life, because again, this is solving the problem of needing immediate gratification, because again, that's why most people will fail, is immediate gratification. Now also too, to share with you, is there are other things too that happen with my clients. You know, as you know, I'm a mindset expert, so I use things like tapping, I do laws of attraction work, all this other kind of stuff to help them kind of stay on focus. But this is such a great way to start implementing your system. And if you are looking for support to reach your goals, to break through, you know, please reach out to me. Let's talk about what it'd be like for me to be your mentor, to hire me as a coach. And you would just email my team. I'll put it right here, info@katebeaters.com. That's info@katebeaters.com. So what are your thoughts? Is this something you feel that you can easily kind of start to implement maybe today? You know me, I'm all about action. So what could you start to implement today? Maybe you can't do the whole thing, but maybe you can go to the store, order on Amazon some colored pads, or maybe you've got some paper that you can just start cutting up into squares. What are some things you could do? Does anyone have any questions about this? I'm just looking at, see what Facebook. So anyone have any questions on this? Everyone feel good? So what are you going to put into place? Nikki mentioned, Lynn mentioned, anyone else want to put out into the world what they want to use this for? Hey, Colleen, well, welcome, welcome. You'll be able to listen. We were talking about this magic. It's not magic, but it's a very cool tool to use for reaching goals. That what you do is, and you can listen to the whole thing over again, but what you do is you set a goal that you want to reach and you write down some of the action steps, and every time you do them, you get a reward. You give it a dollar value, and then when you have enough for whatever that reward might be. For me, it was having, it was actually a really, really good massage / Reiki session. It was awesome. I took all these, it equaled the value of it, and that's what paid for mine. And again, like I said, I could have gone out and charged, you know, or paid cash for a massage. That wasn't the whole point, but I felt so much internal self-confidence and so much self-pride of being able to do this. And when you do, you'll see, and again, because when your self-confidence rises, everything starts shifting. You're going to take bigger risks. You're going to set more goals. You're going to be more likely to reach your goals. Everything starts shifting as your self-confidence starts to rise. So I'm really excited to hear what everyone's going to start putting into place, and would love, if you like this, you know, please do like, please do heart, so I know that this is resonating with all of you, and you know, please share it with your community as well. And again, if I can be of help to you, if you're looking to hire a coach, please email info@katebeaters.com. Oh, and thank you for the likes and the hearts, everybody. I appreciate it. So I look forward to hearing what everybody's doing. And, ooh, lots of hearts. I like those. And they're so fun to like watch. It's kind of distracting. It's like, ooh. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the whole thing. Andrew just wrote, she loves the visual, the jar, because this could apply to so many things, both personal and business. And it's a positive reinforcement, because what happens is, and again, I'm not going to go into this whole thing, Andrew, you know, you've worked with me in the past, so you know a little bit about this from me teaching, that it's our inner child, you know, it's rewards or punishments. But the thing is, if you wait so long, like if you say, oh, when like, back to the example of filling an event, you wait till, oh, when my event is filled, then I'll go scuba diving. That just sounds so far away. That's why you need the immediate. And so whether you do the penalty, the punishment, or whether you do the reward, you've got to check it out and see what aligns better with you personally. I've done both ways, and right now I just felt like doing rewards. It felt really, really good to me. Both ways work, and it's really finding out, testing yourself and say, what's helping me keep on track. And it's exciting because, again, I'm using this now, for the grief weight. I'm going to use it for my book. So however I want to use it, I'm going to use the same jar though, because I only have room for like one jar. But and also too, guys, get a jar. I mean, get a glass jar or something nice, and have it semi big. I personally like glass because you can see through, you can see through it all and see how many things you have. Like I said, I had all these in here before, and then you can decorate it. I mean, I'm not the world's best artist, but you can see, like, I put some ribbons on it and some stickers, and I'm going to add more stickers, and I'm just, it's mine. It's mine. It's kind of like my accomplishments, and that's what life is all about, is these little things that make up the huge big thing. So I want to thank all of you guys for being here. I'm really excited to hear what ends up happening, and please, like I said, please share this with your community, and until we meet again, everybody, be brilliant.